Welcome to AMA50, the podcast where you ask us anything and we give you 3 AMA-zing answers in 50 seconds. In this fast advice improv recap show, our hosts are challenged to reminisce on the past year and talk about our favorite moments from our first season of episodes. Is it reminisce? Reminisce?
Reminisce. You're reminisce.
And
Reminisce.
okay, so we're just looking back on the year and talking about it. So thank you for listening to our random and fun life advice podcast. But our word to the wise, we aren't life experts, so follow our advice at your own risk. My name is Will, and I'm joined today by my 3 co-hosts. I'm here with Shay.
Hi.
I have Amy.
Hello.
And Kirsten.
Hello.
Kirsten, what is AMA50?
AMA50 is an improv game geared towards answering questions in the funniest and most concise way possible. I developed this game with the help of the amazing AP improvisers, RIP. And as Will says, in our episode, we've answered questions from all over, each in under a minute.
Yeah, so Shay, tell us more about our special episode today.
Well, here we are again, all together for the holidays. We've decided to reminisce on everything we've done this year at AMA50. So we're doing an old-fashioned recap of all our episodes, looking back on our favorite moments in 2024.
So I just want to ask one more time. It's reminisce?
Yeah. Yep, reminisce.
Not reminence?
No.
Nope.
Not debibidits?
Nope.
Okay.
Reminisce. It's okay.
Well, it's all good. I just want to take a break, and then we'll be right back. And we're back. Let's start the recap.
In our debut episode, New Year, New Podcast, we dove in head first into the theme of fresh starts. To kick things off, we rounded up questions about New Year's resolutions and everything that come with them. In Yahoo Answers, we sourced our questions from the defunct, now meme-worthy Yahoo website. Online for 16 years, the Q&A platform ran amok with unserious and unusual questions, which also ensued even worse and often hilarious responses from its users. When my daughter Cleo learned that we were creating AMA50 podcast, she had a lot of questions, as any bright-eyed and curious, now 8-year-old would. So we gathered her most burning questions about life, the universe, and everything in general to answer AMA50 style in Cleo's questions. What were your favorite moments from these episodes?
Just Cleo's questions in general was probably the most fun episode I think I've personally ever done. Just because, like, her questions were just so genuine and innocent and just, I just loved them.
Yeah, honestly, I'm a fan of Cleo's questions. Not just because Cleo is one of my favorite kids ever, but, you know, I'm biased, I guess.
Cleo was technically our first guest.
Yeah.
She had a little cameo at the end. So that was cool.
That was great.
Per Amy's suggestion. Amy was like, oh, wouldn't this be like the moment to bring Cleo in? And then I just rolled with it. I was like, yeah! And then Cleo came in. It was great.
It was the cutest dang thing.
Absolutely.
But,
I also loved the Yahoo Answers one, though.
I was gonna say, like, the worst, best questions.
Stupid questions.
Yeah.
So unserious. Like, they were so ridiculous.
That's what makes it fun. Either answering it with the same amount of seriousness or attempting to genuinely answer a very silly question. Both options are fun to me.
I think I chose sarcasm every single time when we did the Yahoo Answers, and I was like, oh, it was actually a really real question, and I just ran it amok.
You had good advice for how do I take care of a pet potato. That seemed pretty genuine to me. You were like, you're just gonna pat it on its head.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, because it was in February.
a
Oh,
long
that was a different time.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, I also liked, you can't beat, the original, the first episode. I think it set the trajectory for like people asking us questions because like I just surveyed we just picked those questions. We just asked like our friends and family to give us questions. So they didn't really know what we were doing with them. And then all of a sudden they're in a podcast.
Yep. Just ambushing people we know.
I liked New Year, New Podcast because it was filled with really sincere answers for a lot of it. And like some useful stuff.
I've fallen off a
I
little
think we were
bit.
figuring out the tone.
I was saying I've fallen off a bit on my New Year's resolution and sticking to my own advice, but that's okay because now I get to do it all over again.
Amy,
Yep.
did you eat the chocolate?
Huh?
Did you earn the chocolate?
I feel like I don't remember anything from January or February, and I'm really alarmed at myself right now.
So,
What are we talking?
so the
Too
context,
many things have happened since.
yeah, the context
You've
was,
had a year, Amy.
I gave the advice to deprive yourself of reward until you achieve your resolution. And then you said, I will never get the chocolate bar then, Will. So what Kirsten was asking was, did you deprive yourself of chocolate until you achieved?
No.
Oh.
I did not deprive myself of chocolate. I ate all the chocolate.
Good.
Well,
I'm like literally confused right now because usually my memory is like, I'm like one of those people who are like, my memory is spot on. And the fact that everything we're discussing right now, I'm like, what? It's really
Amy,
confusing.
you had to delete files to make room for producing and starring in your own one-woman show. You
Yeah,
had to delete
honestly,
some stuff to make room for a massive undertaking.
I
oh,
think
like,
that may be what happened.
yeah.
I just watched Inside Out 2 for the first time last night, and I'm pretty sure that's what went down in my brain. Like, if you haven't seen Inside Out or Inside Out 2, like, there's memories that need to be, like, deleted for the new ones to come in. I'm pretty sure too many of my memories had to be deleted because a big thing happened. And that's what went down. So, yeah, I did not deprive myself of the chocolate.
Yep.
Okay, so to take the focus away from my aging brain, the there are some other ones that we did. We did April A-holes, where we divvied up into questions, from the vastly prestigious Reddit thread, Reddit/AITA, an acronym for Am I the Asshole? So we deliberated on whether or not these questioners were the asshole, in quotes, in various scenarios and answered them in the AMA50 format. And then we did another one on relationship advice, where we tackled the theme of romance, dating, friendship, and everything on the scale of love. And an ever popular topic covered in advice columns and podcasts, we source questions from love-torn listeners like you. And assuming you're all love-torn listeners, big assumption here, and hope that we provided insightful relationship advice on our very serious life advice podcast. And we were also joined by our special guest host, Eric. We also did one in Ask AI, where we answered questions from AI. And while some might call that the potential downfall of humanity, others turn to AI for answers. So we, as the hosts of AMA50, decided to help to speed up that machine learning along to get AI to ask the real philosophical questions that we so answered.
This was my saltiest episode.
Yes.
I love that it had questions about the podcast.
The April A-holes one, I was not familiar with this Reddit thread, and so it was like a whole new thing for me.
I hope you fell down a very interesting hole, like internet hole. To me, like, am I the a-hole things? Like, this is like some people listen to like true crime while they're doing stuff or this or that. That's me with am I the a-hole things. Because I love hearing about gossip that has nothing to do with me or anyone that I know, but I'm like, I love judging. It's great. No stakes judging. That's what makes those threads so entertaining.
I have a question. What month was the relationship advice one?
Pretty sure it was May.
So I don't know if Kirsten wants to mention the day that the episode came out in May.
Oh,
Day after?
No.
so.
So on the final Wednesday in May.
That was the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the day I got married.
Yeah!
You're married?
I'm married to our guest host, Eric.
Oh my
I
God.
that
See,
episode.
I guess that, you know, the advice was valid. I like that you guys were the ones who were actually qualified.
But like, how cool is that?
I think it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Because, yeah, we gave
Speaking of AI listening to you, when we were in the middle of recording the last episode, we were talking about charcuterie boards, and my phone was listening to me, and then my Acme app gave me an ad that popped up on my screen, a notification that was perfect for holiday charcuterie boards. Nabisco family size snack crackers are on sale.
Can I ask a question? Not in AMA50 style, unless we want to. How is that legal? How are our phones able to listen to our conversations and then like plug an ad?
I have
also
no
just like looking at your search history or like people on your network. Like if I'm on like the same Wi-Fi as my dad, I will get Instagram ads for things that he is shopping for online. And there was one, this was the other day, I had an ad for American Spoon and I was like scrolling through it and I was like, oh, did you see this? Did you see this? And my dad's like, all of those things are currently in my cart.
Yeah.
Does that
But
mean
then they showed up on my Instagram feed.
so that means when my family comes to visit and they come on the same Wi-Fi I am, they'll see all the porn that I want for Christmas?
I don't know. I think they'll just start getting real spicy ads.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So I will say that my Instagram feed is now very catered to me, but then a lot of my friends now have catered Instagram feeds to them. So I have a coworker who no longer works with me, and he has no need to get spicy novel Instagram reels, and yet he does in the middle of his workday, and he's like, Amy, this is your fault because we talked once about these books that you were reading, and now his entire feed is just like, yeah. So
I get so many frogs on my feed because I sent you some frog posts sometimes, Amy, and now my Instagram feed is full of frogs.
My friends get more frogs than me.
All right. So I have some cache and internet history to clear. I don't know about you guys.
Yep.
I think we should take a moment to do that. So we're just going to take a break and we'll be right back. All right, so I did as much cleaning and clearing as I wanted to. So and we're all back. So let's finish our recap.
All right. For the girls, our topic specifically focused on women, women's rights, feminism, women's issues, etc. facing us today. We tried at least 3 different ways to answer these complex but important questions, sourced from our listeners and followers' comments and DMs on Instagram and emails to our Gmail. Through our multiple genderqueer perspectives on femininity and womanhood, our hosts strive to provide interesting and enlightening responses. We were also joined by our special guest host, Paula Dean White. Oh, love them. Then we have 8 As a thank you to our listeners who tuned in and then submitted questions to our Instagram and Gmail, this episode was our mailbag special, an eclectic mix of random questions. We covered a variety of themes and even revisited former topics to answer submissions that didn't make it into previous episodes. And then, I love this one, questions from Europe. And there our questions were actually sourced from overseas and came from faraway lands of Europe, specifically Prague, by the way. Our special guest host, Sarah, amassed a plethora of questions from curious Europeans about life in the United States. And as always, our hosts answer each question 3 different ways, but not in 3 different languages. We're Americans, have pity on us. So, favorite moments.
There were some really good ones from the questions from Europe of just like, why America? Just why?
Why? Man, and we went to dark places there a lot and now it's worse. You know, as it is.
They asked that question about coffee and it's a habit that young people over there have as well. So I'm like, how dare you point the finger? Like, we're all buying coffee.
Yep. We all have coffee. Some things are universal, and that's caffeine addiction.
Yeah.
You know? I can say a lot about caffeine, but I loved the For the Girls episode because I loved our guest host, Paula Dean White. I thought that was really fun, and I thought that it was very cool to get all the different kind of perspectives on, you know, like women's things from, like I said, like all multiple genders, multiple approaches.
So, episode 8, was the birth of, Old Bay body wash.
That was...
I said Old Bay instead of Old Spice because I was visualizing in my brain, oh, there's like a ship on the logo, so it's Old Bay, right?
Old Bay.
Hey, you know, maybe if you want to smell like a crab boil, I think that's
To be
great.
honest, I think the brands should switch names because Old Bay is a spice and it lives in your spice rack. So why is that not Old Spice?
I love both, so I can't really complain.
Yeah.
Or will the episode like finally merge the 2 brands together to do a special collab?
We just gotta get
A crossover commercial. It's the crab your man could smell like.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I thought
Delicious.
you were gonna leave it at crab your man. Like, what's that?
That's a different kind of episode.
you can crab your man, and that's it.
Crab your man. Oh man.
Speaking of the AI episode and things
Oh.
that it's gonna listen to, I'm so sorry, everyone, if you listen to this
Yep.
on speaker.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I don't know.
Guy's fault for listening. I mean, this is everyone's fault for listening, but
I mean, hey, that could be some intense ASMR.
yeah. Well, should I finish our recap?
Yeah.
Sure. This is going nowhere good.
I can.
If we stay on the crab your man bread.
Our next episode was Spooky Scary Questions. Our Halloween episode. So in our first round, we answered questions from our listeners about all things that go bump in the night. And in our second round, we answered some questions, that may have sounded familiar to, any of our horror movie fans out there. But just remember, scaredy cats, it's only a podcast. It's still only a podcast. Insert scream, some scary noise here. And then we did our Friendsgiving special where we asked our listeners and followers to submit their questions about all things around the holidays, fall activities, food, and approaching the end of the year. We even had some questions about things that tied into the theme of family relationships and the dynamics we all come back to at this time of year. And we were especially excited to welcome our special guest Sam and extra special guest Phyllis to dine with us at our dinner table. So, in those last 2 episodes, What were your favorite moments?
Phyllis. I love her. That was fun. That was great.
My first
Also,
time meeting Phyllis, so that was very interesting.
Your
yeah.
first Phyllis experience, Kirsten? Nice.
Also, I realized that very Thanksgiving appropriate that my final answer to like, what does support mean to you was feed people, which is both Thanksgiving appropriate, but then also very Jewish mother of me. I was also channeling a little bit of Phyllis. If you have a problem in your life,
Just
I'm gonna make
a
you
little bit
food
of
about it. Eat!
I thought you were gonna say if you have a problem in your life, channel a little bit of Phyllis.
Oh,
That too, honestly. That too.
I'm just saying it's a t-shirt idea.
WWPD, what would Phyllis do?
That too.
We're just throwing out merch ideas, free merch ideas.
What about our Halloween episode? What'd you think?
I always love a good Halloween episode.
I
I love Halloween.
loved when you could tell that the person had never seen the movie.
Like me?
So it was,
We weren't trying to call you out like that.
I thought it was pretty funny because we kind of get these questions out of the blue too. Like sometimes without any context. So like, we just cut up our girlfriend with a chainsaw. Does that sound fine? Answer that in 30 seconds. And,
Yeah.
within or without context, you just have to give it your best shot.
But while recording that episode, I was like, I don't know any of these things. But it was a lot of fun.
So, okay. Do you know where What's Your Favorite Scary Movie comes from? No? Amy,
don't.
I'm calling you on the phone and I'm asking you what's your favorite scary movie?
Wait, what is it from?
Drew Barrymore.
Oh, it's
Amy!
from Saw. It's from Saw. It's from Saw.
No!
No!
You get
It's from Scream!
Oh, I mean Scream. I have a very
Holy
inappropriate story
fuck.
of when I saw Scream, and there's a reason why I don't remember it. And I can't tell you all on this podcast, but trust me, I've seen the movie.
Oh my god. So, I'm just gonna ignore what just happened. And anyway,
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So here's the thing is I love scary movies, but my friend group that's the most local to me can't even stand Harry Potter scares them. Okay. So I struggle watching scary movies with people because they can't deal. And so
The three
when
of us right here with you watch movies
know.
with us.
I know. Well, that's what happened. That's why when my coworkers were like, "Hey, Amy, do you want to watch Carrie with us?" And I was like, "Yes!" I was beyond hyped because no one else would ever watch that with me. Yeah.
I feel like we need to have a marathon.
has anyone been watching Christmas movies?
Yeah.
Nope.
I'm asking because here we are recording our final episode of the year and it's Christmas Day. So Merry Christmas, AMA50.
Also Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Does that over? Oh, I love that. That we're just gonna
Happy
keep the
Hanukkah.
holiday party train. Woohoo!
Well,
Hey, this is a great time for me.
so on the first night of Hanukkah and on this Christmas, I have a gift for our hosts today.
Oh.
So I will hand each of you a box. Here you go. And you
Pretty
go ahead and unwrap, open up your box. And they got AMA50 bomber jackets. Wow.
Woo!
No, they didn't. I'm just kidding. I'll show you. I didn't wrap
Improv bomber jackets.
nothing
Yeah.
well this year, but I will show you what I got for you. This year, I have been asking my co-hosts, what their current favorite songs are. And every month we've been releasing a short, nice little playlist of songs, always featuring our newest episode. But for this month, I've decided to share our whole year And it is all of our songs
Ooh.
that were in our AMA50 now playing for the whole course of this year.
Oh, just in time before New Year's. It's like this podcast Spotify Wrapped.
Yeah, it's our very own Spotify Wrapped. So it's another way to kind of look back on the year and we're like, what were my favorite songs in the spring and over the summer?
I love
That's why I bothered you for all your song choices this year because I have amassed them into a big old favorites list.
Hey.
Yay. I
Yeah,
love a good super playlist.
super playlist.
that. Awesome.
Oh, well, it's kind of bittersweet to think about the year, right? And now here we are at the end of it.
Yeah. We need to listen to our first episode again so that we can get our affairs in order this year.
Yeah, brush up on our New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, I thought something much darker when you said, let's get our affairs in order.
Oh. Well, now that we've finished a recap, how do you guys feel about playing one last round of AMA50 before we go?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
So we'll just get ready to do that. We're just going to take a break and we'll be right back. And we're back. Let's play our final cold round. This will be fun. We always do warm-ups before we record an episode, and it's just questions at random. So we have no idea what the questions are, so we're going to answer them cold. It'll be kind of fun to do. Just like the temperature outside, hopefully.
I don't know. The weather's been weird. Maybe it'll just randomly be 80 degrees on Christmas.
You
Oh, God.
Melikamikimaka, everybody.
Merry Chrysler, everybody.
So yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll ask the first question. We'll have Shay answer in 30 seconds, Amy in 15, and Kirsten in 5. Speaking of Melikamikimaka, that was the theme of my Christmas decorations this year. Was like nautical Christmas theme. So, all my ornaments are seashells that I've collected over the years, and that's how I decked out my tree. So anyway, I always do a different Christmas theme every year. What is your opinion / advice on decorating for the holidays different every year? So Shay, what do you think of all that?
So I respect the hell out of it. Like, I love when people go all out. I love seeing it. I love experiencing it. I personally do not do it, like, at all. I'm just lazy about it. And also because then I won't take it down for like months and months and months. Like when my mom was around and we used to have like Christmas trees, it would stay up till Easter. So.
That's how I decorate. Because Jesus was born and then Jesus has to die. So that's when.
There you go.
But Amy, what do you think of my decorating habits?
I love it. In a similar vein, I also don't decorate. But I love when I go places and it's all decorated and there's a theme. It's like my favorite thing ever. I just don't do it because I don't have the storage space. But if I did, I would totally be like, it would be Halloween year round in my apartment, to be honest. But I just don't have the space.
It's not about storage. I just get creative and it's like, like some stuff I can't keep and then it's just shells on a tree. And like, that's it.
Yes.
But Kirsten.
It's great. You always put so much attention to detail in everything though.
Aw. But Kirsten, what do you think of my weird habits?
Think that more is more, but less is less to clean up.
That is,
But
she ended on some sound advice. I thank you.
Yeah, just don't go overboard.
Yeah. I didn't.
I think it's always great.
I'm gonna ask a question now. And since we are holidaying, I wonder, what is your favorite holiday and why? Will, you have 30 seconds. Shay, 15. Amy, 5.
That's really hard for me because make almost every holiday an occasion. Like, just for me, it has to be something. I have to have a reason to keep living, so I make every holiday different, so it always feels like something new and something fun. I've loved fall in this time of year. I also love birthdays, so if you have a birthday to throw, call me.
It's true. You made my birthday incredible this year. Um, oh, it is me. All right. Here's my time. So the obvious answer for me is Halloween, but for me, Halloween is more of a all the time lifestyle. So I'm going to say Passover is my favorite. I love the food. I love the Seder.
Yeah, that's
My favorite holiday is Rosh Hashanah because I love fall and I love apples and honey and I love dipping them. Good times. Cool. All right. Oh, I need to ask a question. Well, friends, I am getting into reading a lot. But I'm having trouble going into different genres. So do you have any advice on how to get into different genres of reading from the ones that I'm kind of stuck in at the moment? Kirsten, you have 30 seconds. Will, you have 15 seconds. And Shay, you have 5.
Okay. My answer is an app. It's called Fable, and it lets you keep track of what you're reading and what you've already read. And it puts you into like, not contact with, but it lets you see other people's profiles who are like reading the same sorts of books as you. And so it'll give you recommendations based on like other books that they're reading.
Ooh, I like that.
I like that a lot. That's cool.
Yeah.
My two options are find an audiobook app and put it on shuffle, or go to your local library and your librarian can probably answer that question better than I can.
I appreciate that. I almost got in trouble with my library recently, but it's all good. I returned my book.
Oh no.
Nobody got hurt.
Yeah, those late fees will get you.
I didn't have to pay any.
Yeah.
But I was right there.
Up against it. Oh, in 5 seconds. This is hard because I do actually have a legitimate long answer that I'll tell you later, but the short version. All right. Find a common theme and then transfer it to another genre. Yeah. Oh, I have to come up with a question.
It's hard.
Every time someone's like, do you have any questions? My mind like immediately goes blank. Like I don't know why. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Why is that a thing? Cause I'm not the only one who does it. So why is it a thing in people's brains that the second someone goes, do you have any questions? Suddenly you can't remember a single question that you've ever had in your entire life. And you suddenly just know everything, even though you don't. Amy, you have 30 seconds. Kirsten, 15. Will, 5.
Okay. So I honestly think it just makes people's brains short circuit for a second. Like it's the same thing if you're an audience member, like you clearly have been an audience member before, but as soon as you go to a show, you forget how to find your seat. You forget how to look at your ticket to see what your seat number is. It's like you don't exist. So when you're asked a question, it's like, whoa, you're not expecting it. And I think that like that initial spark of not expecting it's like this new thing that your brain doesn't know how to conceptualize.
Awesome. Kirsten, what's up with this?
Hear me out. Bad fairies sneak into your room at night and they sprinkle magic dust on your head and it affects everything. Thank you.
Is that the answer to my question or Shay's question?
My question. Bad fairies hide all my things from me, and the bad fairies are called ADHD. Anyway, hey Will, why?
You need to actively listen and you need to just digest a lot quicker. I think.
I just said I have bad fairies called ADHD, damn it.
And you need to change.
For real.
You need to stop that.
Just be neurotypical.
Just be neurotypical.
Simple.
Oh right, that was the conclusion to, oh my god, bringing it full circle, that was the conclusion to most of the New Year's resolution advice. How do you make and keep New Year's resolutions? Be neurotypical.
Oh, right.
Wow, we really did just go full circle there. I love that.
Thank you, Kirsten, for reminding us of our greatness. Well, Thanks everybody for playing our last round. Let's just take a quick break and we'll all come right back. And we're back.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, what did you think of reminiscing on our past year?
Oh.
And, or like, what did you think of this last round that we played?
I love reminiscing.
Reminisce.
It's a reminomenon.
It's a, oh! It's a phenomenon.
I just love it. It was fun. Even though I'm a little concerned that my brain didn't have room for other information, aside from that small concern, I will try my best to treat myself to all the chocolate again this year.
Yes. I will just say, that's why you have us here, to remind you. And that's why we record everything you say and put it on the internet.
Yes.
So then you can remember a year later.
Sarah, that is why AI exists. You know, just people are going to forget what they said, and AI will remind them for every time.
We have receipts.
Oh, God.
I regret not having listened to all of the podcasts yesterday.
Ah,
right?
I feel like that would have helped me.
Like, but it actually helped breaking down the episodes, because before in my brain, it just feels like one like thing all together. So I think the breakdown kind of helped.
Yeah.
I don't know. Time's fake.
Shay, have you gotten used to hearing the sound of your own voice at all? Cause
I endure it.
I
endure it because I like listening to you guys.
I love listening to Shay's voice.
Right?
Podcast.
It's the best.
So clear and resonant. I love it.
This is me being like, technique. I don't know. It's just more high pitched than it is in my head.
It's beautiful.
Well, I guess we're looking forward to a new year next week. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah.
Woo! It's about to be a scary January. I think we're like New Year's resolution. We're like making plans. Huh.
That's a thing you gotta do.
We'll see.
You gotta get a journal about it.
Oh no. A whole journal?
Yeah, I got a journal.
I read recently, or maybe heard recently, that was good advice to do. I think it was like for anger is to journal, because maybe it helps you process.
Yeah.
Or like you can like look back on when you were angry and you're like, oh, that's not so bad, or whatever.
I had one of those like journals at one point where it's like just write like a couple sentences for each day. Like it only gives you like a little tiny space, so it's supposed to be less intimidating. But like the problem with it starting in January is it's like, that's winter, where usually there's not much going on and I'm not very happy. So the first couple months of that journal, it was like that section of the second Twilight book.
I think our our podcast was a bit of a journal in a way. Like,
Honestly, yeah.
So, like, what do you all think about, like, looking back on the year through our podcast episodes that we did this year?
I am definitely over the next week, between now and the new year. I'm deciding right now. Between now and the new year, I'm going to re-listen to all of the episodes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it because it's nice to hear everybody's voices. It's nice to remember not only the things that we said on recording, but like that sense memory of remembering like what you were going through at the time or how you were feeling during the recording. Like all of it, all of the tactile things that come with listening to a podcast, especially one that you like know the people on. And also we give a lot of good advice. And I need to re-up myself on good advice.
Yeah. Yeah, it is nice hanging out with your friends. Cause like usually listening to podcasts is like a parasocial experience where you're listening to people talk and you're like, these are my friends. But now I'm like listening back to our podcast. I'm like, oh, these are my real friends. Oh, that's wonderful.
I definitely am going to listen to the episodes I have minimal memory of being in. Just to jog that part of my brain. I think I don't know. I had fun. I like thinking of this as like a journal because also it's almost like a time that doesn't exist sort of thing because like we record these months before they come out and knowing that there was one day that we recorded so many and then another time where so thinking back of like, okay, where was I in life? What was I working on? What was I focusing on? Like, was I experiencing any illnesses? Was this during the time of my show? Like, what was I doing in this time period?
So, speaking of re-upping, my question for our host is, AMA50 Season 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
2025 more episodes with new special guests, some returning guests on some new topics and based on whatever questions people send us.
So start sending in your questions now about your New Year's resolutions and how to keep them.
Or, any random...
Life is cyclical.
And like we challenge you, just like we're challenged on this show to drum up a question from anywhere about anything. And we'll try at least ways to answer it.
And bring us some serious questions. Like I want this podcast to rival Yahoo Answers in ridiculous questions.
Yeah.
Like give us your deepest questions, but also your stupidest, shallowest questions. Yeah. Ask it on Anon. No one has to know it's you. Yeah, I've got some interesting topics that I want to cover, some themes.
We've had some anonymous questions submitted, so that's been kind of cool to do. So yeah, you can be anonymous. Ask away. Well, that's very exciting. That makes me look forward to the new year. So thank you, everybody.
It's good to have a thing to look forward to in 2025. Guys, we're air hugging. Just so our listeners know, we're air hugging. No one can see, but we are air hugging over Zoom with our arms on the sides of the frame. There you go.
Well, to wrap up.
We have different, I just want to say it's funny. Will, you and I were like hugging the frame and then Amy and Kirsten were hugging themselves physically. Here it is. Now we switch.
Well, to wrap up this episode and this year in a nice little bow, I will extend the same thank you to our listeners for listening to the AMA50 podcast. We hope you enjoyed this recap episode. If you'd like to submit your own questions to be answered in a future episode for season 2, our DMs are open at AMA50 podcast on Instagram or send us an email at AMA50podcast@gmail.com. And we look forward to your submissions. So happy holidays! Happy New Year!
Don't forget to, what was it? We'll drink peppermint schnapps, in Longwood Gardens.
Yes.
Yes.
Or wherever you are.
Yeah, don't forget to do that.
Listening to
All of
that. Don't forget to take a swig. It's been a pleasure.
Yes.
I am Will.
I'm Kirsten.
I'm Shay.
And I'm Amy.
Bye!
Bye. We're waving.
The last time this year,
We're waving.
the last wave.
Listen to the podcast from the beginning. All the way.
Yep. And the super playlist.
And this
Yay.
is
All of it.